grab my notes here. Thank you.
Yes, I have. I get lost.
Really? All right. So welcome everybody. Welcome to our what is this, June meeting. I'm just remembering our May meeting. Our May meeting was such a great event. We had a great discussion with people that had done classes and people that had made pieces for Northern Woods, and we had all the memory boxes there. I was thinking, wow, that seems like a long time ago. Let me start by explaining something. There's a ton of stuff in the back, and please, 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 at the end of the night, there needs to be nothing in the back. Because if there's anything in the back, then I need to take it home, or John needs to take it home, or Mike needs to take it home, and we don't really want to do that. About 3 weeks ago, I got a note. I get notes. Any note that comes to the Guild, I get. And I get a dozen notes a week. So about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, I got a note from a woman who said, you know, my husband has been an avid woodworker, and we're getting ready to move into assisted living, and we're looking for a not-for-profit that could accept all of his tools. And she said, I've been to Rockler and asked if they'd buy them all back, and they said they were not very wild about that concept. So I imagine that. I think he had spent some time at Rockler. We happen to be building a new education program, and I'm going to talk in a few minutes about the education program, which is really exciting. And I said, you know, this is really timely because we're building this new education program, and we need tools. So this is great. So I contacted the people in the education committee, Mike Bierscheld, John Madsen, George Thomas. Mike said, I will go down there and I will go down and survey this shop and figure out what's there. So I was kind of thinking this is going to be like stacks of Festool over here and stacks of the Powermatic over here. Mike had in mind that it was going to look like the Lee Nielsen showroom. So Mike goes and looks at it, and he sends me a note, and he says, I've attached a bunch of photos, which I immediately went and looked at, and then I read the rest of the note. He says, but first, you need to go look at the video. So he sends me this video, and the video kind of pans across the shop, and there's just stuff everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's stuff. So we talked to the family, and we said, look, you know, we can clearly use some of this, but we can't use all of it. And Mike said, but we will find a way to get people to take all of it. And I said, look, tell you what, we can't use all of it. Since you want to donate all of it, is it okay if the Guild sells the pieces that we don't need? And they're like, yeah, that's fantastic, as long as you come and take everything. So see, they really needed to get rid of it. And she has a plan. I mean, this is like stage 1 of 6 stages to get moved. So Stu Fox and Mike and George and John and to a lesser extent I and Angela in the back went over and spent, was it last week? 2 days last week? Yep. Sorting through the shop. We removed 6 truckloads of stuff from the shop. And just to give you an idea, because I have it all in storage right now, and it's all been inventoried, just to give you an idea, there's probably 100 some odd different pieces of turning chisels, probably a really nice lathe that we're going to keep for our education program, probably 6 or 8 or 10 chucks, 6 or 8 DeWalt random orbit sanders, all identical, all that work. So a saw stop, so a bunch of stuff that we're going to be able to use in our education program. It's really going to give us a jump start on that. We went up, and then the family came back and said, but my husband's collected all this wonderful hardwood over the years, and surely you'd like that too, right? And we're like, yeah, I guess. So what are we going to do with the hardwood? And I placed something on Groups.io and said, can somebody come and take all of the hardwood? And nobody took that offer up. A lot of people said, I'll come up and take something. But I said, well, no, it's all or nothing. But I got a note from a member who said, I'm working with a group out of Forest Lake that's called the Invisible Wounds Project. They work with veterans and first responders, big woodworking program. I've talked to this guy before. He's like, they will take anything that you can get them, but they can't come and get it. So will you guys go and package it all and bring it to us? So Stu and George went back a week ago Saturday, spent another 4 hours and another truckload of stuff, And then last Monday, George and I went up to Forest Lake and donated a truckload of pen turning supplies and kits and different pieces to the Invisible Wounds Project. So we have a ton of stuff that is going to help us jumpstart our education program. We have a lot of stuff that we donated to the folks in Forest Lake, which is another great organization. And I have an entire storage unit filled with other stuff, all of which is catalog tested, and some of which we will be selling at a gala this fall, things that are basically brand new, some of which I'm going to go and give away tonight because it's literally brand new in the box, and the rest of which will go to auction, and I will keep folks posted on what the auction plans are. But in turn, this was an exceedingly generous donation to the Guild, but would not have happened without Mike and John and George and Stu and Angela just doing a ton of work. The shop was not the neatest and tidiest thing in the world, and boy, it was a challenging project to do. So if you're wondering what the stuff is, that's what it was. And as Mike just said, this is a reminder to keep your shop neat. But also a reminder, if you got stuff to donate, we'll work with you. So anyway, my name is Paul Ehrlich. I'm the president of the Guild. Welcome everybody tonight. This is part of our monthly program. We do this once a month. This is the last month we did Northern Woods winners and our scholarship winners. By the way, we just awarded 3 new scholarships, and we're working with members on those, one of whom's already finished their class because they started the day after we awarded it. Our next program is going to be on July 14th. It's our summer picnic. There will be more giveaways at the picnic, I guarantee you. Hopefully none of this stuff. And it will be at the Roseville Community Park. And then our August program should be great. It's going to be Stu Fox talking about, Matt, what's he talking about? Wood? What is Stu talking about? Forestry. Forestry. Trees and yeah. So we do a couple of big events a year. Northern Woods, which we just held in April, fantastic event. We had 45 entries this year. I just signed the contract. We are back at Eden Prairie Center again next year, April 22nd to the 25th, I think. Back again. We've convinced them that it was that they would negotiate with us and not raise their rates, which is nice of them. We do a fantastic event in the fall, and I saw Norbert here. I don't think I saw Ron today. Norbert and Ron are the chairs of this. It's going to be October. It's going to be a 2-day event this year. I'm sorry, a 1.5-day event this year. The afternoon of the 16th and all day on the 17th, Saturday the 17th, back at the Progress Building at the fair again this year. At the end of the first day, though, is a special event, and it's going to be the first annual Minnesota Woodworkers Guild Gala. It's going to be a dinner catered by Lake Elmo Grill. Looks like a really nice menu. There'll be a cash bar. There will be items to be auctioned and donated and given away, and we're going to use this as the kickoff for building our new program, and let me talk about that. So about a year, traditionally the Guild has always done something called the Fall Seminar. We've brought in a nationally renowned woodworker. They talk for 2 days and demonstrate. About a 1.5 years ago, based on input from the organization, we said, you know, we should rethink this, and we should think about what we're doing for education, because we get a lot of requests for education, and all we're doing is the Fall Seminar, and people are getting a little frustrated with the Fall Seminar, and we went and surveyed members and said, what do you want us to do? So we want to do hands-on classes. We want to learn how to make stuff. So we have this great education committee. Crystalline Goodman's leading it. Mike and John and Norbert and Tally are all members, and Dave Duddleston are all members of that committee. They're doing a fantastic job. They've gotten this thing up and running from zero. They've run 5 classes so far. All of them have been filled. One of them is resulting in the formation of a new special interest group. And there's 3 new classes that are posted right now. 2 of them are filled with waiting lists. But the third one, the hand tool class, which is the tote building class, is still available. And the instructors for that class are sitting next to Norbert, and I understand would like to say a word. Here, hang on, you need to. This is for people that are on the live stream.
Oh, yeah. Will you be standing next to me?
I will stand next to you.
Okay. All right. Nothing too long, just a really quick introduction if you guys weren't at the meeting that we hosted in our shop in February. Phil and I represent Shearcraft. We're a small woodworking shop in South Como neighborhood of St. Paul, and we specialize in teaching woodworking and boat building. And traditional lap strike boat building is our specialty. We just recently finished the boat, had a fun lunch. We'll have more. We'll call it soft launch. It was supposed to thunderstorm that day, so we'll have another one if you're interested in going out in a traditional boat. But today we're actually promoting a class that we developed in collaboration with the Education Committee with the Woodworkers Guild. And because we specialize in traditional wooden boat building, traditional tools, very hand tool oriented, this class is dedicated to hand tools, hand tool use. And my husband here, Phil, is going to be teaching it. I don't know why I'm talking, because I'm a talker.
He speaks better than you do.
But the class starts July 8th, I believe. So it's coming up, and we still have a few seats. And it's 5 sessions, and it's not cheap, and we know that. But it's a small group. It's going to be very focused on what everybody needs, and it's going to go in detail. Some basic hand tools, some more advanced hand tools that we get to use in boat building more specifically. So there's definitely some skills that even an experienced woodworker that's good with power tools can pick up a few things in the hand tool department. So we're very excited. There's very detailed, maybe too detailed description on Woodworkers Guild website. And on our website, which is shear-craft.com, shear with S-H-E-E-R.
2 E's.
2 E's. Yeah, so we're excited. Please sign up. Yes?
How many in this room were at the event the Guild co-hosted with you at your facility?
Oh,
Early night?
yeah, good
A
question.
lot of people. We
Yeah.
didn't think anybody would show up in January. I mean, the room was overfilled. So,
Yeah, yeah, we had to open windows in January. It was so hot. Yeah.
I think you're going to see a bunch of us back.
Yeah.
Well, we hope, and actually, I guess a little pitch, separate from Woodworkers Guild, but we do host monthly our own events that you're all welcome to come. There used to be boat building socials while we were building our lapstrake boat we just launched. We now call them Skillshare socials, but they're not meant to be really serious shares. Okay. Sorry, I'm a talker.
So, you've done great. Thank you. And you, I'm not sure if you mentioned that you won an award at Northern Woods for your boat too. Yes. Yes. A spectacular boat. Yes. And if there wasn't a bicycle there, so on the education program, we've been doing classes. We've done some online classes. We're doing classes that are going to be in Phil and Maria's shop. We've done classes that have been at Steve McClune's shop at Millennial Studios. But to do anything else, we have to have our own space. And we've been working really hard for a year trying to figure out how to get our own space, and we now have it. So starting July 1st, we are in what I'm calling the transitional space. So we're going to be sharing space with an organization called A Maker's Place in Maplewood. We have a dedicated classroom at A Maker's Place, and we will have use of their shop facilities. So starting 1st of July, we've got all these tools that we're ready to move in, and we have started looking at permanent guild space. So Norbert and I went and toured a space yesterday? Yesterday, in the Arts District that we really liked, but there's a lot of other spaces. But to make this work, we need to keep building the education team, our program, which these guys are doing, and they're doing a fantastic job. We want to be doing, we'll do probably 15 classes this year. We want to be doing 30 plus classes next year. The second thing we need to do, and we're already set to move into this transitional space and is ready to go. But in order to get our permanent space, we'd like to do that. We'd like to be in there a year from now, ideally. And to do that, it's going to take some money in order to get the rest of the tools and the setup and tenant improvements and everything else. We're working on budgets and business plans and performance and all of that stuff right now. But we're going to be starting a capital campaign for that. And the money that we got from the sale will help us with that. The money that we raise at the gala will help us for that. But we're going to put together a program. Anybody who's interested in helping with fundraising, come see me. I've got a couple other announcements, but let's just take a few minutes and do what we've done the last couple meetings. Turn to the person next to you, introduce yourself, talk about what you're currently doing in your shop, and then we'll get back together in about 5 minutes. We're gonna pull in order, and I'm gonna allow them to come up and choose what they want, because I have turning stuff and non-turning stuff. So if they're a turner, they can pick from the turning stuff. But I just have one other announcement, then we're gonna do that.
Do I need to help out or what?
What?
Do I need to pull numbers or anything or what?
Yeah, it'd be great. Just stay up here.
This whole bag?
What?
This whole bag?
This is one thing.
Okay.
These three are turning things, and these three are non-turning things. So I'll show what it is and let people. Whoever's first can come up and choose first. Hey Matt, can I go? 1 minute.
I understand. Yeah.
Who do-
You can hook it up back here, and then I'll call an audience.
Okay. There you go. Okay, so I have one more announcement, and then we're going to do our drawing, and then we're going to introduce Charlie. So everything we do as an organization, we're 100% volunteer-led. We have no staff. Everything we do is volunteer-led, and I always need more volunteers. I don't have enough volunteers. Really appreciate our volunteers, but 5 things I want to ask for volunteers for. It's a lot. First of all, there was an email we sent out last week. We're doing an event with Rockler Days, 3 different Rockler stores, 3 different Saturdays in June 13th in Maplewood, June 27th at the other 2 stores. There's a posting top left-hand corner of the website about it. There's a place you can click on. And Nicholas, I know you already signed up to help. I appreciate that. But we need a few more volunteers for that. We have just been asked to come back for the 2nd year in a row and do a demo day at the State Fair. We got our day 2 days ago. It is the Friday before Labor Day, which is a fantastic day, but it's a long day. It's 9 in the morning till, or 10 in the morning till 9 at night or 8 at night or something. We got kind of mixed reviews last year. They said, you know, you guys did a great job. You created a lot of attention. You made a lot of noise, but you know, we had 2 booths, and the booth next to you was doing paper making, and the guy doing the paper making was the one in charge of the building, and he said, you know, you guys should just take both booths next year. So I don't have to be next to you. So they've invited us to come back and have a double booth this year because we're not good neighbors. They didn't say it that way. They were much kinder. Matt, who is our program chair, has done a spectacular job. Matt has actually set up the programs for the rest of the year, but has announced that he is done. I need a new program chair. So anybody who's on the program committee who wants to step forward, or anybody who'd like to be involved, let me know. Our education committee doing a fantastic job, but we need more help, and we need people now to come on as instructors and as shop assistants. And John and I are just working. John is doing a spectacular job building out an entire safety curriculum and a safety world of practice. Very, very exciting. But shop instructors have a special role in making sure that we're safe. And then finally, I could use help, anybody who's interested in fundraising or event planning, to help out with this gala. I'm going to introduce Charlie in a minute. Charlie, we're going to have 15 minutes left for you to do your demo when we're done. But Dan, let's do your drawing. I have a number of different things. This is it's an Axminster chuck. Is that correct? Yes. It's an Axminster chuck. Anybody who is turners here, I know there's 2 schools of thoughts in turners. There's the carbide and the non-carbide school of thought. I have 2 really nice turning tools, an Easy Wood carbide tool and a Sorby high-speed steel tool. And then I have 3 other things, all new in the box, all of which, by the way, are part of this donation. A Rockler juice groove routing jig. This is a Woodcraft 24-inch clamping guide, and this is a doweling jig kit. So I'm going to pick one at a time. When you win, come up and pick what you'd like. So if you're a turner and you want one of the turning things, Pick one of the turning things. If you're not a turner, pick something else. Yes, sir.
You might mention where that came from.
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is was donated by TSO Industries, and Hans, we're very, very appreciative of this. Thank you.
We're appreciative of what this whole group is doing for the crate, for the craft, everybody.
Thank you.
So our thanks to everybody here.
Thank you. Dan, first winner? See, I've made us late, and I'm in a hurry now. That's what happens. 803. 803? Angela. Angela, you get first choice. And Dan, let's go ahead and pick the next one.
So what are my choices here?
Juice groove routing jig. There's a doweling jig, and then this is a
Trex.
clamp guide. You can use it for.
Yeah.
I used to use this
I
for
think I
routing.
will grab this.
Okay, excellent choice.
Thank you. Wow, thanks.
I probably didn't need to erase the address on it for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
798.
Second one, 798. 798? Yeah? Ken? Ken, are you a turner?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Left, it's not turning.
Dowling jig kit, or I've got a.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Dan? Oh, sorry. 811. 811? One away. 811? Nobody? Janet? No? 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 Move along. Must be present to win. 805. Oh,
Hopefully everybody that's left is a turner.
hopefully everybody that's left is a turner. Uh-oh. I'm going to give, if nobody's a turner, I'm going to give the rest of this to Charlie and let him give it to the Turners Guild. So, 819. You're a turner. Oh, you're not. You didn't win. Are you a turner? No.
That's all right.
It's all right. Okay, just keep moving. 794. Are you a turner?
That worked out great.
All right.
But now I have to make a decision, I don't want to do that. What do we
You
have
get-
on this one?
That is a Axminster Chuck kit.
Do you know what it fits on? Pardon me? Do you know what it fits on? No. What is it? You can afford it, that's all I can tell you about it.
You can get an adapter if it doesn't fit.
Take it all this side. Snip aside, open it up, and then.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll get
Yeah.
out of your way.
All right. All right. 796.
That's me, but I'm not a turner.
You're not a turner. Okay. Just pick Kevin's number. Or yours. I'm sorry.
Defer to Kevin if he wants my number.
Oh, you want to trade?
I'll trade, okay, here you go. All right.
Well, wait. No, you can't trade.
That's teamwork there.
Now, wait a minute.
Oh, Peggy, you want to change numbers? Want to trade? What's it in? What's in it for you?
I know.
I still haven't tried. I don't really like carbide, but I also haven't tried good carbide. So
That's a good carbide.
Yeah.
Peggy, why don't you come up and take the last one?
I don't like the oval screws.
You don't. You don't like the skew?
I don't like the oval ones.
Oh.
Oh, well.
All right. Thanks, everybody. So I'd like to introduce our speaker for tonight. One of the interesting things about the Twin Cities area is we have several different guilds that are related to woodworking. Woodworking Guild, obviously, we have a lot of turners in it. We have another group that just is doing carving. We have another group that just does scroll saw work. But it's really intriguing that we have a really active group that does turning. And Charlie and I first met last September.
Something like that, yeah.
Because we have a lot of shared interests. So it was, I'm going to let you do the rest of your introduction yourself, but it's, the Turners Guild is a very interesting group because they're associated with a national organization called the American Association. Are you gonna-
Woodturners, yep.
Woodturners, and you'll talk more about that, I assume.
Sure.
But they're also based here in St. Paul, in the Landmark Center. So with that, thank you very much for
Thank
coming.
you.
Appreciate it. And are you turned on?
Is this on? Is this on? Can you hear me? Is that on yet? No. Got a little thing here. It shows it.
You're good now, Charlie.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm good? Great. Thanks for being here, folks.
Thanks for coming, Charlie.
Well, thank you. I'm the president of the Minnesota Woodturners Association. I got about 6 more months to go, and then my parole officer is going to call me. Thank you very much. Who's in the Woodturners Association? I recognize Blake out there. Okay, great. I know. Hopefully, I think some of you have seen this before. Steve, have you seen this before? Or this? Okay. So take a nap.
Just like last time.
Last time, yep. White Bear Lake, Minnesota? Anybody from White Bear Lake, Minnesota? That's where I grew up. And my father was a physics teacher back then. And in 1969, in 9th grade, we had shop class. How many had shop class? Yeah. How many have shop class now? I mean, it's like,
It's coming back.
I hope so. But it was 9th grade wood shop class, and we had these 3 Oliver lathes. They're about the size of a diesel engine, you know? And they had a 1-horse motor and gang pulleys that were out in space, real safe. And I said, Mr. Johnson, can I try that? He says, sure, here's the book. What 9th grade boy looks at a machine and looks at the book? I looked at one picture and where the switch was. That was about right, where the switch was. And put a piece of wood, I kind of, well, and it had 2 tools, no, there were 3 tools. There was a skew, a parting tool, and a roughing gouge. And they were about as sharp as your shovel. But I went at it. You know, I have, and you are privileged. This is my very first turning. It is a beaut. My mother was proud. No, wait. What do you notice there?
Nice little parting line.
Oh, not parting line. That's a what I do? What did I do there?
Oh, glued it together?
I glued 2 pieces of wood together, and I wanted to make a, well, shape. Curvaceous shape. And I hollowed this out with a roughing gouge. Now, those of you who know tools, that is like the no. But I'm going, I know it better than I hit that corner there. And you know why there's felt on the bottom?
Yeah.
No. There were screw holes in there, yeah. This has been with me since then. It's gone to college, it's gone to everything. It sits in my house, my keys and my gum and my mints and my pennies and everything goes in. My kids are gonna have a raffle for this thing when I'm gone. And you get to see it and pass it around. And it is. And I finished it with walnut oil. I knew nothing about this. Oh yeah. Who's got a cell phone on? Who's got a cell phone on? Seriously, might it fit in here? Let's see. Oh yeah. Get some music up.
All right.
I've made about 4, 5, 6 of these things. Turn this is all flat work. I made one that was flat work. It was about this square, about that deep. It had like a 1/4-inch maple on the top, 1/4-inch maple on the bottom and the sides. And inside it was 2 curved halves. Stick it down there and poof, just blows right out. You got some music there? Who needs batteries? When these come around the end, just put them on the black thing back there. It's one little thing I like to do. So I'm supposed to do some stuff about flutes, but before I do that, I'm going to give you a couple little titty bits. I said tiddy, just in case. I know it sounded. Who sees this kind of stuff in Amazon packing? Great for a sanding block. You know, and it's got a little bit of give, and you can hold it. You can, yeah, you can shape it a little bit. That's one tidbit. How many of you have done segmented turning or segmented pieces or gluing stays together? Yeah? Can I get an amen? What's one of the hardest things to do when you're gluing up long pieces of wood? Exactly, keep them from shifting. Got a little tidbit for you. Take a look at that. Little tiny shoulder. Can that show up on the screen there by any chance? Little tiny shoulder. So when you put these two things together, they don't go this way. Little tiny shoulder like that. If you're going to be, you know, this is not the final thing, you got a little thing to work with, but that little tiny shoulder, just do that on the table saw. Now you got a place so it doesn't go this way. You know, it's not, and you shouldn't have it that way, but that's just a little tidbit. Next tidbit. What do you see when you look at the ends here? You see one slanted end, right? One slanted end and one 90-degree end. When you do a 12-piece stave, what do you cut your angles at? 15 degrees. 15, 15. You know, if you cut just one at 30 and leave the other at 90, it works too. So you can make one at 30, 90, put the slot in there, and it works. Gives you the exact same thing. Take some pine like this and just try it out, fix it, do it, see what you think. A little tidbit, because I make some tall stave vases. The tallest one I made was 43 inches tall. So imagine trying to get those things all together. This style is really good. Huh. Last little tidbit. I think a lot of us, when we do some segmented stuff, we may, let's see, you know, we put it together like so, and we use tape, etc. You know, we put it together, we glue tape on the seam, right? Make sense? That's what we do. How many like CA glue? Hold on to that, please. My wife always says, why do you use your mouth for a hand? Well, that's what they're made for. Yeah, I always run around. Well, one time when I got into my car, and I went to start it, and it was not working. And I got out, popped the hood. This was like 30 years ago. And I'm looking in, go back in the car. Where's my keys? Back outside, back inside. Where's my, well, 5 times the old on the head. I'm hanging on them in my mouth. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is show you a little tiny baby trick. We put some glue on there, right? We go like that, we spread it around, right? Take some CA glue, put a dot, some medium, put a dot, little dot, dot, right? Take your other piece, I'm going to do it right over here. Put those two little babies together just like this. Notice I got some squeeze out? You guys can see it there. What is it when we brush our teeth, or the kids are supposed to sing? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I got that glued. I got squeeze out. I can let it sit. Just another little tidbit. Just a little dab of CA glue locks it in there. And you can put another clamp on if you want, but just a thing. Questions on those little things if you got any for me? Fire away, I'm ready for questions all the time. If not, I'll ask you guys a question. Like, I was reading in the Minneapolis Star. That's when I was reading the Tribune this morning in the business section. And there was an article that talked about the companies that make 12-inch rulers. They said they're not going to make them any longer. Somebody going, what? Okay, flutes. I'm going to ask you, seriously, do me a small favor. Close your eyes, and I'm serious about this. Close your eyes and forget about seeing anything. Just listen. It's made out of bamboo. It's made out of bamboo. You can keep your eyes open. This is a Native American style flute. The same with the other one. I'll tell you about those things here in a minute. Don't say anything. Anybody who's seen me, don't say anything. Take a guess what that's made out of. Cornstalk is kind of close.
Corn husks.
Grew 14 feet in the backyard. The grandson planted the seeds because it had a great big flower. It's a sunflower stalk. Sunflower. You don't have to be a woodturner so far, right? Pass these around. I'm going to show you how those are constructed. Okay? Look at the end of that one. Can you tell me just by looking at it how you think it was constructed? Router. Yep, a router. Half 3/4 inch cove bit and a flat piece on the top. Rounded these things off. If those folks who are never going to turn wood, you can still make something like this. And you notice the tone, if I have these all about the same size, it sounds pretty much the same. Notice this one's end blown. The fipple is right here. That's the sharp edge. I'll explain that as we go along. Look how where the end is on that one. This is just a piece of cedar that I turned into a tube. It's got a little notch on the end like that. Little tube. Tired of seeing those? Nope. Look how that one's constructed. Just like a flutophone. There's a little slot right here and a little airway, and this is where the fipple is. And I'll talk again about the fipples. This is made out of cedar fence post, and notice how it's two different pieces. Oh, yeah. Two different pieces, routed out, glued together, and it works. I don't know if you think that's cool. But the thing I think about musical instruments and things like this is they add a total different sensory experience to what you make. And who's got grandkids? Come on, raise your hands. You want to annoy the hell out of your kids? we have marching bands. This is just a little tiny little whistle. This is a little 3-holer that I made. It's for the exact same purpose, to drive my kids nuts. That's good enough. And besides flutes, maraca. If you look at it, that's an egg shape. Two little cups. You can hollow them out, do whatever, and then you turn this, make sure there's a hole there, put it together. My grandkids, they colored these. Yeah. Shakers, all kinds of stuff. One more flute, and then I'm going to get into that stuff. This is called ocarina. Ocarina. On these flutes here, the holes have to be in a certain position, and they sometimes have to be enlarged to fit. These on ocarinas, it's a totally solid. It's enclosed. There's no open end, and the size of the hole determines the note. This happens to be a 6-hole one, and sometimes I can play it. Problem is my fingers, which have been so beat up over my lifetime. There's no turning and making this one if you want to do something, as you folks there. I'm making sure you woodworkers, wood folk know what's going on. So I've made a lot of these things, and I'm going to explain a little bit about them now. Oh, forgot one thing here. One more. Anybody make one of these before? If somebody starts beating this, we're going to be in trouble. Flat work. That's a little tricky one to make, but I like it. Oh yeah. Take your phones out, please, if you're interested in this. That is not turned. These are stays put together in my fashion over there, and then I cut it on a bandsaw. And then there's a gentleman, that's why I asked you to pick out your phones. If you like the idea of a drum. I'm serious, pull out your phones. Google Wayne Manthey, M-A-N-T-H-E-Y, Wayne Manthey. Maker. I heard about him. I wanted to make drums. I wanted to do it for a long time. I heard about him. I got a hold of him. He's a great guy. He came to our shop, and he did classes on making drums. If you want to get 4, 5, 6, 10 people together who want to make a drum, he'll bring all the stuff to you, and he'll show you how to make a drum. He has the barrels made by vets at the vet center in Minneapolis. I think it's just cool. Pardon me for bragging. That's raw deer hide. It's not tanned, because tanned it gets solid. He puts it in water, gets it stretchy, takes it, and puts it then in walnut oil, crumpled all up like, what's that? It's that thing with you do with cloth to make all kinds of crazy patterns. Tie-dye. He does tie-dye. And then he shows you how to stretch it, tie it, and you walk away with a beautiful drum. If you get enough, ask me, I'll put you in touch with him. He's a great, great, great gentleman. All right. Let's talk some stuff about flutes. That's my thing there. Let me see if I get this right. I'm not a good computer guy. I just showed you things like that. That's an end-blown flute. Note that's the fipple. Looks pretty simple to make, and it is, but you got to work at it a little bit to get it done. This one. That's an Anastasi flute. Same thing. I'm going to get to the end of this little stuff here. That's an ocarina. These aren't ones I've made, but these are just ones I grabbed pictures of because they're so darn cool. I'm going to go to this one right here. No, I'm going to stop right here for a second. There are about 29 designs of flutes that have been cataloged across the world. And in Germany about 10, 12 years ago, and I have the article here, which I'm going to show you. They were doing an archaeological dig. Now, when you go in an archaeological dig and you start, what do you find? Pots, pans, bones, anything else? Dirt? Well, yeah. Read the headline on that thing.
35,000-year-old flute found in cave.
Think of 35,000 years. They found a collection of a griffin bone. It was about 4 or 5 pieces. They glued it together. It's about that long, slightly curved. It's got a little notch on one end and 5, that's important in this thing, 5 roughly equally spaced holes. It was a flute. 35,000 years old. And I kind of think about that from a, they took the indigenous peoples and tribes and across the globe developed very similar styles of a flute. They all had their own nuances. But they, whether it was New Zealand or China or North America, they found ways to make music from hollow tubes. And they didn't have the internet. They didn't have the internet. They just had I think they were pretty darn smart. Notice I said 5. Most of these flutes are a 5-note pentonic scale. Think about the Black Keys, 2 and 3. That's what we're talking about here. And it's pleasing to the ear. It's so pleasing to the ear that in Close Encounters of the Third Kind, when the big old ships there going, boom, 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 boom. And what does the guy say to one of the guys there? He says, pentonic scale, B flat. I think it's universal. I just do. So let's talk about how this Native American style flute is made just for a second. That's how it's made. It's the only one that has a 2-chamber. Okay. Oh, here's one I'll be passing around too. This is made totally flat work, isn't it? Look at that sucker. Works. This is the guts of an inside of a Native American style flute. There's a block, okay? This area here is called the slow air chamber, okay? When you put these together, you put a hole in the end here. When you blow, the air gets stopped right there and comes out right up there. Can you picture that on the screen up there where it is? And then it gets shot over the next one, which is that sharp edge, fipple. So when you blow, and I'll show you this, in here, the air goes up. This area, this is called the flue. It gets blown across the fipple, the sharp edge. You got the note. You got the splitting edge, okay? I am in need of 3 very, very brave, maybe foolish volunteers. Well, I don't know if you want to volunteer. I need 3. Take your pick. Take your pick. That's 2. That's 2. I need 1 more. Yeah, you can take the corner, that's fine. Pokes us there. Now your job, no kibitzing from the gathered audience. No, ask the audience question, no. it is your job, you three, to create a 3-note chord from those 3 bottles. 3-note chord. I got a better one.
I haven't tried one of those yet.
There you go, that's how it goes.
Here's your fickle, go over it.
Yeah, drink a little bit more. Notice where Peg's lip is.
Put your bottom lip over and blow over the outer edge.
Put your lip bottom, and then shoot over the top. Almost.
I don't think we're gonna get a cord out of it.
But you got the idea. You got it. Blow yours, blow yours. Blow yours, blow yours. What's the difference? What's the difference between these two? Which caused what?
You just got a bigger resonance here.
Yes, exactly. You aren't getting much because you got a high
end.
yeah. If you go down by there, chug it.
Low note.
Yeah. Oh, boom.
You knew what you were getting into when I came up here.
Was he the brave one?
He was a fool.
There you go. Don't blow so hard.
You can do it both ways, but it's get the sharper
Yeah.
end this way.
Yeah. Well, let's give these brave souls a big hand. Thank you for being brave. The point of that is only to show a sharp edge creates a lot of turbulence, but the volume of the air in the tube creates the resonance. All that sound at one point, the frequency just fits right in the hole, and that's what you hear. Even though there's a lot of other sound, that's the one that is amplified. And that's what goes on in these flutes. And that's why yeah, and you got a beer out of it. I need another. Well, I'm going to, what do you think this sounds like? Didgeridoo. PVC. I'm going to tell you, if you want to make a flute, get yourself some PVC, then you're not going to do all the stuff with the wood and everything else. Figure out how to do it this way, and you can get it done.
Charlie, how did you get into flutes?
I'll answer that question now. I've been a guy who always kind of, growing up, I was always kind of a, how do you make that? How do you do that? What is it? Kind of figuring it out kind of thing. When I was, and I failed many a time. Cub Scouts, anybody? Please, yeah? No. Girl Scouts didn't do this one, but now they can if they're whatever, I think. Cub Scouts, I wasn't much of a Cub Scout, but we had Pinewood Derby. My father, may he rest in peace, he couldn't put two 2x4s, one on top of another, use an 8-penny nail and bang them together. He was terrible. We painted our 3-bedroom, 1-bath, small Rambler in White Bear Lake with 8 kids. We painted it Cedar Shakes pink. You know, Cedar Shakes, you got to go this way, right? Yeah. So it's Pinewood Derby. I'm like 10, really excited about it. get my kit. You know, we're all excited about a kit. What did I say? Did I say something about a book in 9th grade? Well, it wasn't any better back then as a 9-year-old, right? You put it together, had to paint it. The only paint was pink. I come into the big auditorium, Lincoln Home, and just go with my little pink Pinewood Derby car. And everybody's going, "Oh, you little thing." Well, you get 4 cars up on the top of the rack, right? All set to go. Remember, I read the manual how to make it, right? Boom. They all take off. Mine goes. The wheels fall in. I bottom out. Mortified. Next year, I made sure my wheels didn't fall off. And I painted it black. And I took off about that much wood. And at the top, I won that race. Boom, that was great. I went home, that's fine. I did win a Pinewood Derby. So this is about the flutes. Take that down. We had Lincoln Elementary School and White Bear Lake. We had summer programs at the schools. At the end of the summer, there was a big festival. But one of the things in the festival on the high school track, the 200-yard push cart race. So my buddies and I, we made a push cart. It was an eye, solid on the back. And there were so many kids in my neighborhood. As a matter of fact, I went through the neighborhood a year ago or two. There were over 60 kids. You know, we weren't careless Lutherans, okay? There was kids, but so they were all bike parts, trike parts. So we had all these busted trike things. We put 2 wheels on both sides. Could steer with a big old bolt in the middle on the front. Made a seat. Had this crazy idea with Steve Dornfeld. Why don't we get a pole, put it right behind the seat, and run? Everybody laughed. We're up there, Steve's like this. We beat everybody by 60 yards, and I still have the trophy. So how did I get involved in this? I like to figure out how stuff does, and I love the sound of this. I play guitar, I play flutes, I play a strum stick. I've been involved in music in them places, and I got interested in just looking at how they make those things, and it was wood, and it was round, and it was hollow, and I thought, whatever. And that's how I started, about 25 years ago. So that's how I started. And I've demoed this, and I've taught this, and I played this, and I just like it. It's just a lot of fun. Thank you for asking. Where was I going to go with all that? I don't know yet. Hold this, because I want to bring that up to snuff here in a second. So, what else? Where are we going? Where are we going here? This is that top part. I'm going to show you this thing called the fipple. Or not the fipple, the bird, the nest. If you take this apart, you know, so I got, this is my little nest, or it's called the bird, excuse me. I'll pass some of these around. What do you see? Little groove. Little groove. That's the slot. That's the little slot that covers the back hole and directs it to the front hole. Sorry if you can't see that. I'll make sure to pass it around. They're really easy to make. You just take a 1/4 or 3/8 inch straight router bit and just set it up a little bit. And then it covers the back one. Now, I'm not going to get this thing on here, so I'll just play like so. This is made out of solid walnut. Just really simple. This is a question some people ask me. Walnut, cherry, willow, cedar, apple. What's the best? There's no best, but if you go with a soft wood like cedar, which I make a lot of mine out of cedar, especially old cedar fence posts that have some real orange or other stuff in it, the timber, T-I-M-B-R-E, is softer. The other ones are a little bit brighter. Think about a piccolo or something like that, or Irish tin whistle. They're made out of metal, so they have this brighter sound. Not right or not wrong. That's what that is. There's all kinds of ways to put them together. You saw some of those that I made? I passed them around where this thing is on the end. Okay. There's another example of how the Native American style flute is put together. Okay. Ask questions if you want. That's my lathe at home. I'm gonna
Does the tone of it change based on the thickness of the casing?
Not so much the tone, but, okay. Does the tone change with the thickness of the wall of the flute, is what you're asking. Not so much the tone, the volume, or even getting a sound out. When I turn mine down, you probably saw these are pretty thin, they're down to about 1/8 of an inch, okay? So that's kind of like ideal. So that's a good question. If I made it like this thick, the sound isn't going to get up and out of it. So we look to get it to be about 1/8 of an inch thick. Okay? Okay? Good question. So, how do I make them, right? I need another brave, very brave soul. I'm not a baton twirler. I need a brave soul. Come on. You'll be brave? No, but I'm going to show you with Grant, I met Grant earlier. You are going to make a flute in about 10 minutes. I'm going to guide you, but yeah. Take a hold of this. He's going to go, yeah, really. Should we powder up or, whatever, get all, protected?
Maybe.
No, I don't think so.
No?
Here you go. Hold on to that for a second. I have these things I call story sticks. You know what story sticks are, don't you? Yeah. So this is like an A sharp. If this is the wall inside the flute, that's the end of the flute. It's actually right there, okay? And then these are where the holes are. If it's an A, this is the length of the flute down from the fipple, and that's where the holes are. So we're going to make ourselves an A flute. There was a magic marker here. There it is. Thank you very much. What I'm going to have you do is two things. I'm going to have you put that on the end there like that,
Okay.
and draw a line. I'll hold. Perfect. Dot. Uh-oh, what just beeped? Okay.
The diameter is irrelevant?
The diameter, good question. Let me come back to you on that. No, this is the wall. So what this is going to be is where the sound hole is.
Okay.
And this is where we're going to put, doesn't matter, the other hole. Okay? So what I want you to do is to take said drill bit, or take the drill, and take this out of here. It does have a brad point bit on it. And what I want you to do is I want you to take this, I'm going to do it not here. Okay, I want you to put that there. Make sure is that on there good enough? Okay, I want you to take this, kind of press it down, get it started, and then go this way. Okay, I want you to go this way. So that's what you got to do. Don't go through all the way, just through this side. Okay? Hope he doesn't drill his thumb off. Yeah, get it going. Now tip it back towards you. No, this way. Here you go.
The running start on it? No.
Tell you what, let's do it with the other one. Let's let's put a smaller bit in there. That might help. You want to put it on there? Takes longer than 5 minutes now. Okay, let's mark it. Let's go with an A.
So you're angling the bit?
Yep. Creating our sharp edge. Okay. And you can all take pictures of these story sticks, and I got a chart up here that if you want, okay, now make a mark right there. Go about a half an inch there. There you go, just like that. Now we want to take this thing and all of a sudden I'm forgetting. There you go. Let me take a look. Let me take a look. Take a look. Where is it? Yeah. It's this way. You gotta get it this way. And this should be more about there. So I want you to get it going, and I want you to tip it that way, like that. Okay? So go in. Let's put it in here. Yes, there you go. Yeah, this one. This one, go this way. I know you guys can't see it. Yeah, yeah. Up. Let's go down in it. There you go. Get started now to it. Works. Now, this one, tip it back this way. Same thing. That works. Now,
So that second one's gonna be under this piece?
yep, yep. Now what I want you to do is, okay, I will.
What did she say?
She said this thing at this end covers the back hole, okay? The other one guides is open and the wind blows over here, okay? While he cleans that up, okay, I'm going to talk to you about this one right here. This one I got from a Native American elder who lived in Rhode Island. He's since passed away. He was teaching the native braves how to make these things. And the native braves didn't measure them because these things are 7,000 years old. These are called the courting flutes. The brave would make it to woo the young lady. And I believe I've got it here. Hang on, see if I got it. That's how they measured it. You know, what's a cubit? What's an inch? What's a, you know, body parts. That's how they measured it. That's how they measured it. Let's look and see how that looks in there.
That's what Joel's on there.
That's okay. I want to get this one a little bit sharper. Okay, I want to get this edge down here a little bit sharper. So use that. And then then what we're going to do is we're going to drill just these two holes. You can do the rest. Okay? So the Native American brave would make this based on his hands, on his body size. I think there's some other things. The boat workers, okay, the old canoes. I've built a couple cedar strip canoes. It's a lot of that same stuff, isn't it? Yeah, it's fascinating. Okay. Let's see if we get a sound. Now what I want you to do is to take, and I'll get you a piece here. Where is it? Yeah. I want you to take this file.
Okay.
I want you to flatten this out in between here. Okay? To create a little space, we can put a top on it and see if he's got a flute. Okay. Meanwhile, let me go back up here for you. So when I make these flutes, I either route them out, I take two pieces this is an old cedar fence board. I just love the patina of it, but look at the end of the grain there. Look how tight that is. Yeah, it's really tight. So as this goes around, look how tight it is. That's what I like, but I cut those into I route out 3/4 inch or 7/8 inch half circle. You asked a question about 3/4 or whatever, right? Yeah, 3/4, 7/8, 1, the bigger the bore for the same length, the lower the pitch, because you have more volume, okay? It's one reason why if you want to go with, you want to lower the notes, you don't want to go longer. Because if I took a 3/4 inch one, I wanted to drop down to a low D or whatever, I mean, my fingers don't go far enough. So then we start looking at mechanical things that we have in our musical instruments. So you do think about that. The lowest I've gone is a low D, and that one is, all the holes are about 1 3/8 inches apart. It's kind of a stretch. So, that answer your question? Okay. So these ones I drilled out. And I'm going to show you how I drilled that out by something here. But as I get there, anybody bored yet? Okay. It'll work out okay. All right, now let's see. Let's just see if you got a note. Let's give you one of these little buggers. Drum roll. Hopefully get it. See if this fits over like so. Oh, we got to clean those out, but just try it. Just hold that thing on there and just see what happens. Don't blow hard. You're going to have to do...
They cover one hole,
yeah,
not the other?
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, got to get it right near the edge. Yeah, you're right near the edge there. See if it works. Nope. I'll give you another idea here. You know, that's nice that you mentioned that. Because he doesn't. I was going to say, oh, you caught on, but I forgot. We got to put a stopper in there, and I just happen to have, I have a lot of wine stoppers. I don't know. We got to put a blank in here, or a stopper in here. Now, to get that, we've got to cut it, okay? Do you want to mark about where we got it? It's got to go back by the T. Scott Peterson, so whatever, okay? Right about there. We're going the inside, so I'm going to have you now take that Japanese saw over there, cut that baby off. Cut it flush.
Knocking everything over, though.
That's all right. This is a little ocarina thing. Got it? Okay, now we're going to push this forward. Take the there, yeah, the dowel, right there. Push it. Just gentle. Oh! Keep going. You want to get it right to the edge there. Keep going.
The edge of the ear hole.
Yeah, oh,
Fire.
that's okay. You just go back this way. Now, I'm going to do one thing for you, just to clean that up a little bit so we might get a sound. Okay, now cover them up. See if it works. I pray it does. Okay. It took longer than 5 minutes, but take that, this is all yours. I don't need it.
The rest of these holes go straight, or do they have to be...
Well, no, they just go straight in, but what you do is you use like an 1/8 inch drill bit,
Okay.
and you can actually use a chronometer or a piano tuner to tune them. And I've got, all kinds of things in my blue folder over there. It says, in the key of G, these are the notes.
Yep.
Listen. if you make something like this and you do it on a day like today in your garage, and then you go in the house where it's 70 degrees and air conditioned, you're going to lose, it's not going to be in tune. So listen with your ear, does that sound right? Does it flat or is it sharp? Try to keep it flat because it's easier to bring it up than it is to bring it down.
And it goes up by the hole getting bigger.
Hole getting bigger towards the sharp edge. Yeah, I'm going to show that in a little bit here. So, all right, here.
Charlie,
Yes, sir.
I don't know when the right time is to ask this question or even to ask it.
Ask it.
What is the difference in principle of operation, or obviously construction is different, between these types of instruments and the pipes in a church organ?
Nothing.
That's what I kind of thought you would say.
It's just-
The
The principle's identical.
The scale,
The scale is bigger.
because
You
that's
got-
what these guys do up at St. John's
Mhm.
Abbey.
Yep. Yep.
They make flutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's no difference in what it is. So the question is, if I've got this chunk of wood that's, matey, how am I going to put it on the lathe? I've got it up there on the thing. Yeah. Not mandrel, but this is where I do my thinking. I was sitting there looking at this thing and at this flute and going, I know how to turn it around, but how the heck do I hold it? And then boom, pen blank. A giant pen blank. And when you make a pen blank, use something called a bushing. And so I make bushings, and I basically make, this one goes on the tailstock, okay? And notice there's that, goes into the bore, and then there's a shoulder. Janet, what do you think the width of that shoulder is between here and here? From before? 1/8 of an inch. It's my guide. So I'm going to show you how I make this stuff. Goes in one end here, and then the other piece goes in here. And then I can squeeze it without what? Splitting it. Because if you were to take the nose cone, and I think my one's over here. Yep. Put that baby in here like this and start pushing, what's going to happen? And I get down to 1/8 of an inch, you think it's going to hold? No. So I'm going to show you how I make this bushing, because that's an important part of this little project. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I need to make... I heard one guy one time, that people, you guys, you folks, guys are generic, I'm sorry. They come here because they want to see the chips fly. Chips are flying all over. Oh, don't jump at it, I got a couple more. Oh, Grant, you get one because you were doing yours. Who else? Oh, who has the beer? You need one for the beer. Okay. Salt and vinegar. This old jaw chuck of mine here, 4-jaw chuck with the, where are they? Right here. Little hammer jacks. Everybody's got the ones with this. I've had this one since my very first lathe. My very first lathe was an old Sears Craftsman with the what? Tube barrel. Yep. Exposed, three whatever. Yeah, I burned that sucker out. It was my father-in-law's. Not when I got it, not when I first saw it. I said I started turning in 9th grade. I basically turned through high school and then college. Went to St. Thomas, played football, studied physics, tried to find the right girls. You know, you gotta have choices. And I met this one young lady. She was kind of nice and kind of liked her. And we got together. First words out of her mouth was, "Oh shit." Sorry I said that. Not. And yeah, she was fun. We had a lot of, you know. So sophomore year, I go down to Chicago where she lived. And I go in the wood shop, which was his garage, and there's this old lathe. And I said, "Can I try it?" He said, "Here's the manual." He said, "Go ahead." So every time we were down there, I'd go in the lathe, I'd make Christmas ornaments and stuff like that, and just had fun. And then about 8 years after we were married, he says, "You know, I never use it. Why don't you take it home?" I guess I thought it was going to stick around, so. Irv was a joy. Irv was just a joy for me. He actually lived with us the last 3.5 years of his life. Passed away at age 76 or whatever. Short little German guy. Just salt of the earth. You know, some people hate their in-laws. I've been lucky. But my lovely bride was on a trip on a day like today with the girls, sisters. So it's Irv and I batching it. Irv, he did all kinds of woodwork, all kinds of stuff. I got his patterns for puzzles for the 3-year-old. You take a picture, blow it up, make it 8.5 by 11, glue it on masonite, and put a frame for it. That's flat work. 3-year-old kid loves it, sees his own face on the picture. Well, I said, "Irv, I want to make some bluebird houses." We got 3 acres. I didn't even make bluebird houses. And I said, "You want any help?" He gets out. He's got his bowler cap on. He got his slacks, his loafers, his vest, his whatever. He's ripping cedar boards. He's covered with sawdust. He's just a pig in mud. And we're lining everything up. But I got to tell you one thing about Irv first. He's a wonderful guy. I loved him dearly. He had an ileostomy for about 30 years. So back to the bird feeders, or no, excuse me, the bluebird houses. They're all stacked up. They're all working together. And now we're going to start putting them together. I'm sweating like a pig, you know. He's just, and we're going along, and we're on the 3rd one, and it wasn't going together. And I said, "Irv, this one's not going together. We got to fiddle-faddle fart around with this one." He said, "Can't. We can only fiddle-faddle." Right, he hadn't broke wind in 30 years, and it was just, yeah, he was a joy. We played pinochle every night. So, let's show you how I make and I'm not going to finish this, I'm just going to show you the basics of it. Anybody wear gloves when they do work like this? Anybody got a reason why they don't wear gloves?
So they won't catch on anything.
Yep, that's true. I have been to the emergency room more than a few times. I wear them because I've gotten stuff in my hands, and yeah. Anybody been to know Mike Mueller over at Northern Forest Products? Have you ever gone to ask him one time about his accident with a table saw? Damn near lost his life. It was like 1-inch thick plywood, came off the thing, got him, boom, right here, in. Wow. Ooh, see if this works. People always ask where you're running it at. 1,500. I'm going to get that a little bit round for a second there for you. I should use a roughing gouge. I will. Ooh, I don't like this. This is the first time I've used this lathe. You know why it's not good? It's running backwards. I haven't figured that one out yet. This is the first, like I said, literally, it's the first time I've used this lathe. I'm getting used to things. That's pretty.
I shouldn't laugh, I've done that.
I didn't read the manual. There we go. That's good enough for that. What I'm going to do is, I'll take it down a little bit more. One of my favorite tools that I have for this was a 3/4 inch roughing gouge. I ground it on down to a bevel, or excuse me, a bowl gouge kind of thing, and I really do like it. This is a hard piece of maple. I'm being a little bit rough on this because I'm just want to get it down to 3/4. That wasn't 3/4 of an inch. I'm not going to go all the way down on this one to the 3/4. I'm going to show you how I shape it from here. So this end here, I'm going to make this piece. Can you see that one on the screen up there or whatever? This little button. What's also real nice about this, I got a dot in the middle, and I got a dot in the middle there. So when I put it together, I got a spot that's the center. That makes sense? So what I would do now, this thing, got to push this emergency thing first. This will be just loosen up on me just a touch there. How much you want to bet I went the wrong way? Yep. If I wanted to get down to the exact spot, I'd use, a crescent wrench or caliper. But that's how I make that part. Any questions on that? And then I can, this thing comes on, there, part it off. There's that part. And I got my 1/8 inch shoulder around there. Now think about it for a second. If I'm making a 3/4 inch bore and I want a 1/8 inch rim all the way around, what's the diameter of this larger piece? 1 inch. Some people think, no, it's 1 inch. Okay. So now this piece, I would do the exact same thing. And there's a little bit of a reason why I don't just make this. I used to make them just the same 2 little pieces, but I found that it's better to have a better clamp on this end like this, roll this on down to give myself a little more safety and space in here with my hands. So now what I do, there we go. Get the idea? This is where I put on one end my tube. The other one goes on the other end. I'm going to show you that. But that's how I make them. It's just real simple. I'm surprised nobody said, "What do you think you are, Michael Jordan?" I always got biting my tongue all the time. That's how you do that. Questions on that little jig? Okay. Now, I'm ready for you.
So I understand how, I'm not a trimmer.
Okay.
I understand how the chuck is holding that end.
Yep.
But when you simply center the pin on the other end, is that sufficient pressure?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, I have to bring it up. You know, I like to bring it up with some good pressure so that it doesn't wobble, because it could wobble. So I do squeeze these together. Okay? Did that answer your question? Question was, why is that enough, is that sufficient pressure? Yeah, it is. Okay. Before I do the next one, so that's what, you can see where I got the 2 parts. That's how I used to do it. I made a Morris tenon on that end, on this end here, but I didn't like it because the Morris tenon would start to fail. So I went to a different system, but still the same idea. Now, if you make this from PVC, you don't have to do this. Or bamboo, or whatever, but, you know, still. There's a branch. That's another way. Notice the tapers on each end? This is one of the ways I drill it out. You'll see that in a second here. So that's just rounded out. This is my drilling system. I don't have it here because I don't have enough length. My drill bits that I have for this, they're like so. So, I mean, I'm out here and I'm working in. Now notice if you do anything like this, notice the flutes. They're all the way down to help eject the shavings. If you ever do something like this, don't use a spade bit. It'll wander on you.
Don't use what?
Spade bit. You can use a Forstner bit for a while. If you make an ocarina, you can go, you know, about so deep with a Forstner bit, that's probably okay. But if you want to get something like this, most you don't have drill bits like this, you know.
Where do you get something that size?
If I told you that, no, they're online. They are available. This one I've had for like 15 years. It probably cost me 40 bucks then. I cost now. I don't. But this is what I use to drill those babies out right there. And then so it's in this block. You can just have to imagine how this all is. And that little jig, by the way, is something I designed and made. It's got a ball bearing, so that little taper goes into the ball bearing so it can spin. I also do it with a steady rest, and that's what I did with these here. This was actually a bit longer, But you can see what I did. I just cut it round. That's where my steady rest goes and holds it while the other end is clamped in here. So I'm going to clamp this in here, and we're going to show you how I make the tube. And if you want, there's, like I said, there's all kinds of ways you can make the tube. Wrong way. Wrong way. So I was at church a couple months ago, and after I said in the shop, and coffee hour. I'm talking to Eric, the dad. Nice guy. Elsie, his little 8-year-old, 9-year-old daughter is right there talking to her. He said, Elsie, I got a joke for you. Oh, I like jokes. I said, why did the skeleton not cross the road? I don't know. He didn't have the guts. That was 2 months ago. 2 weeks ago, same scene. Elsie and Eric and me. I said, Elsie, remember that joke I told you about the skeleton? Yeah, that was funny. I got one for you, Charlie. I said, oh, do tell. Why did the toilet paper not cross the road? It was stuck in a crack. I went, whoa. Yeah, that way. Somebody told her that joke. I just laughed. It was so darn funny. Out of an 8-year-old's mouth. Oh, yes. Well, she does have an older brother. Maybe that's where it was. Okay, now, note my bushing here that I've got. Note the shoulder, and it's inside of the tube. So when I apply pressure, it's there. Now, this, like I said, the first time I ever used this lathe, we just got these. We got 4 of these with using a very generous donation from one of our folks. And I like a longer bar. You'll see why in a second. Do I want this one or do I want the other one? I actually want the other one. Ouch. I have 2 of these. I want to use the other one for this. I've said this, and some have heard me say this before. I would never work on a high-rise exterior, not because I'm scared of heights. There'd be people dead underneath me, dropping things. Where did I put my glasses? Oh, there they are. This is. No, not yet. No. No. So, oh, that's right, Charles. You got to do this. I got too involved with Elsie's joke to remember. I got to put this baby in here. This is my tailstock. This baby goes on here. Note the little rim. This baby goes here. This can be hanging out the edge a little bit. I got a little bit of space. Remember that little pinhole that you saw on the end of this thing? Now that's locked in there pretty darn good. A little bit more. There we go. See how this goes. I'm just going to make this into a tube, and I'm going to show you. Yeah, there's just too much going on here, so. Oh, that works. I start in the middle. Some people start in the end. I start in the middle. If I start over here and I start going here, I'm starting to lose support of the wood. So I work from the middle out. How much time we got? We've been doing this for an hour and 5 minutes. Wow. Because what I'm going to show you after do this is how to make the fipple on these things. I ran out of tool rest. My tool rest is about that long. Hey Steve, do you guys have this kind of trouble with these things when there's any kind? Yep. This what's going on right here? Okay. What'd you do with it?
I don't know if you got some shavings caught in there. Yeah, it's finicky.
Okay. Well, like I said, we have 4 of them. Steve had these over at a thing we did in Hutchinson, a pen turning class, or actually. See if I can move this. Yeah, we got to get this a little bit. We'll, you know, when you need to, just give it a little more, give it a bang, bigger hammer. You know, so that's fairly, it's not smooth because the cedar just is a little chippy, but I'm absolutely fine with that. You'll see why. Any questions on what you're seeing here, folks?
Is that still the modified roughing gouge that you're using?
Yep, it's got a real long bevel,
Yep.
and it works almost like a skew, that wonderful thing that a lot of people don't like to use, but it works really well for what I'm doing here. You can use a big 3/4 inch bowl gouge, you can use a skew, you can use even just a scraper of some type if you want. But this, notice it caught there? A big chip came out of here. That's what happens with cedar sometimes. It's a little bit chippy, but once you get it down, it goes pretty smooth. Once I'm going to get this all down to this level right here, and then I'm going to pull it off to answer Janet's question over about the thickness of the wall.
Would tool steel be friendlier for this kind of material than the carbide?
I wouldn't use carbide on this. I wouldn't. I like carbide for some things. The question is, do I like carbide or would it be? Carbide can work. The sharpness of the edges, and because you can get a long bevel, it works better. It's just like anything, you know. You don't try to catch a muskie on a number 10 worm. You know, you got to use the right kind of bait and the right kind of tools. So, but good question. What's that? I think some of you are going to ask, how do you keep this thing, once you see it's all done, pretty much like that, right? Anybody think that? Take your finger, I'm holding right here, my finger rides on the inside of the tool rest here, and I keep this in the same place, and that way it doesn't jump, and I can just keep this, and I keep this tool rest as parallel to this as I can. Make sense? Okay. There is a little bit of chatter here, which does happen, especially this thing thin. It's not gonna like much pressure at all. So what we use is the 180 grit skew. I'm serious. You'll see that. I'm going to go that far. I'm not going to go all the way down because I want to make sure Janet sees this, and the rest of you don't need to see me just making these little shavings over and over and over again. That's why I wear a glove. It also keeps my hands nice and clean and soft. Ever get, I mean, seriously, working in the wood shop, your hands get kind of dry. They get a little torn up, and then you get those cracks around your fingernails. Sorry. I don't like those. It's not half bad, just like I say, for demonstration, so you see what it is. I'm not making a final product here. That's how I do that. Now, for the sanding thing, I am going to take this off. And where is it? There it is. I'm going to make a little bit of a mess. So I take some 150 grit. I usually go to like 220 at most. I don't know if I like this. I'm using these fingers here to feel it. Now, if you were to sit on my side here, you can see rivulets with these little tiny things. I can see there's a little bit of a spot here. It's another reason why I like soft woods. They sand down real quick. And now if I'm doing this, sanding with the grain, and I would take this almost all the way down to here with the sanding. I'm going to take this off so you can see, pass it around, and you can see just how nice and smooth that baby is. And that's really all there is to making this flute.
You go down to 1 inch total.
1 inch total, yeah, 1 inch total. Bring it all the way down. If you look at these ones here that I've got made there, they're down like that, you know. But that's how I do that. What else have I got for you? How do I make the fipple? Right? Yes, sir.
Again, about the thickness of the wall.
Yep.
Bend it down further and further, further down,
Yeah.
thinner and thinner.
Yeah, right. If you went thinner, 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 and you got too thin, it would just kind of also shatter. It would just go, you get a catch and blows apart. Yeah, sound quality, sound quality. What I want to show, yeah, what I want to show you is how you make the fipple, because that is like crucial in this stuff. And I'm going to take, I want to take, yeah, can I have that one back? Can I have it back? Thank you. This is a little thick, but I'm not going to worry about it. So what I do, as you saw how Grant had him make a line, and I am going to use this just because, okay? So I'm going to make a line, and I don't use a marker on wood, just a pencil. So there's my line. I try to keep everything in alignment. And let's say I want my fipple and my sound hole to be there. Okay? Got it? Take this off of here. So I'll make the fipple and stuff on this side. I'll also go, I might go on this side and cut a little end blown hole, show you how I do that. So you get that idea. There's also the other one where we talk about going up inside like a whistle. I'll do that one. So keep me on those 3 things, and then we'll be done-a-rooney. I've made a lot of different tools for this stuff. I have burned myself. Where's my... Here. Another reason why I wear gloves. Where's my gloves? Oh, thank you. Last place you look is where you find it. It's just a piece of metal, steel, and I've shaved it on down on a grinder to about 3/4 inch to 3/8 of an inch. 3/8, 5/16. Just a square with a little bit of a chisel. So I take on my slideshow, there'll be some other stuff, and I've got some handouts over here if you want or take a picture. Blue Bear Flutes is a website that has a lot of really good stuff if you want to ever go into it. And again, you don't need to be a wood turner to make these things. It's just another way to do it. But you can hollow it out with a drill bit if you want. You can put them in pieces. You can PVC, bamboo. Oh, I got to tell you about bamboo, how to use that. dee, 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 dee. Get it nice and red hot. All I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in straight in at the wall space of the hole. We won't set off the alarm. It's really thick here because I didn't go all the way down, but that's okay. I just want to show it to you. Pardon me? To burn it, to burn the hole. I don't like using a drill bit for this because on cedar and other things, those drill bits grab and tear. This gives them nice clean cuts. Some people use a chisel or files, but I use this. This is how I do this. The guy on Blue Bear Flutes does it this way. Yeah, it does. And it also adds a little bit of interesting decoration, if you will, with the burn. If you saw the flutes when they went around, you saw the holes had little burn marks. That's exactly what I do there too. This is going to take me a little while because it's not 1/8 of an inch thick. 1/8 of an inch thick goes through usually in the second cut. But we'll do it. You can use this technique. There it goes. Now I tip it back like so. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to leave it like that. I don't want to have to set up the fire alarm. But that's how I do this thing. I plunge it in, and then this one I go this way. So my angle, because the airflow is going to be on top. Same with this one. I go here, so the airflow comes up and over on this particular one. Okay? Make sense? Questions, bud? You saw in my fipples, you saw a lot of burn stuff. This is how I do it. Now, how do I do the holes? Just pieces of metal that I sharpened, pointy. I usually start with this real sharp pointy one to get a hole and it doesn't wander on me at all, so I'll do one or two holes with this. Yeah, we're not gonna, if there's a window we can open it. I did a class up at the Marine Folk Art School, and it was fortunately warm enough in January that we opened the windows. Yeah, we don't want to do it. Last one. Yeah, I just put it in here like so. It's lost its heat. That's all I do here. I take progressively larger ones. I use small files. I use small wooden dowels with a little bit of sandpaper on it. All those kinds of things work. There, that hole's through. Notice what I just did? If you were to put that right there, it might burn the wood. Nope. When you go in the hole, it's not going down like this because I got tapered, right? So I want to go all the way down. I also want to flare out the inside a little bit so the sound comes out of the hole. So you can pass that around, just take a look at how that goes together. Now I was going to talk about another kind of fipple. I also want to talk about bamboo. When I get bamboo, and a really good place to get bamboo literally is Highland Nursery. They usually got, if you know where Highland Nursery is over there in Highland Park, they usually got some. And you can usually find some, all these pieces are built like that. But what you get, literally, look for a piece that A, is solid, isn't split, B, the nodes are, this far apart. And so what you do, there was a node like right here. So I just cut behind it. Here's the next node, that's my wall. That's it. And I use that inside wall. So if you look at, it's kind of a hard papery kind of thing inside there. But that's all I do with that. So that, and you can see also the flat. how I sanded that down to be flat. Got that? And then the node right there. Cut the next one off, and then I made another one. A piece like this big, you can make 4 of them. You don't have to be a wood turner, okay? Next thing I wanted to about these other ones, other little tidbits about this stuff. If you want to make one like so, this with the end here, it's blowing out underneath, so the sharp edge has to be underneath, okay? That's how that works. What I do, I sand that. I'll show you, because I brought this. If you're bored, tell me, because I got another bad dad joke. Not going to tell that one too, because I'd get yelled at. Sanding disc, or if not a sanding disc, you've got a belt sander, or even just a flat piece of wood. You can do it that way. But what I take is the plug, like so. Now I'm going to draw it on this here so you can see it better. Where is my, there it is. So imagine this is the top of the plug. So what did I say about high rises? Say this is the plug width, like so, right here, this whole thing. I want to sand and get something about like this. This is the width of the fipple. This is a little bit wider, it kind of focuses it. So if you looked at it on this end, you would go a little bit down, a little bit down. So you got this little bit of a ramp. Now what you don't want is that, because it'll blow right over the top. You can actually go almost just under flat. And so just sand it down so you get this space that's a little bit wider at pop this one out of here because this one's not glued in. You see that? It's just a little. This is the blowing end. This is the end up near the fipple. So you can see just a slight ramp up, and then it focuses. And if it doesn't work, toss it and get another one. Make it till you get it to sound right. Make sense? Okay. What else have I got? I might have another bag of chips. That's for me. One of my favorite flutes is this one I made out of crabapple. And this is a solid piece of crabapple. I think it is just gorgeous. I won't play it because you heard me enough already. This is one of my favorite ones. It was a crabapple tree in my yard. Yeah, you can certainly take a look at it. One other doodad. This is my best sunflower flute one. This right here, you might wonder, how do I put this on the end? It's not butt jointed. It's tenoned in there. It's tenoned in there. You don't butt joint this. How do I do something? If I got one, I think I do. Maybe, it's probably back there. You may have saw ones that have a stripe. Okay, again, a tenon. But what I do is I take a piece. I either take the piece of wood that I want and I build the tenon in, but then I just, imagine this is like the tenon, I just cut another piece and glue it on my decorative piece. So I think I am done. Dave goes, yeah. Thanks for your attention. I'll stick around for any questions you got. And last thing, when I was in the working world, I hope this sticks with you just a little bit. When I was in the working world, I was in the finance and insurance business. And we had, anybody who's in that business knows you got to take CE credits and you got to take licensures. You got to go to seminars. And I was 15 years in the business. I thought I knew everything, you know. And I was grumping. And this colleague said, well, his experience, he said, look, you got to be here, right? Yeah. He says, pay attention. You might pick up 1 or 2 things that might help a case, something you're working on. So I hope I gave you 1 or 2 little things that might help you in something else. If that happened, then I was good. Some things, online resources with some measurements, some instructions. If you want them, take a picture. I'll stick around. Thanks a lot. Appreciate being here. Thanks.